Okay guys, this is going to be how you check your review. I'm going to post a series of videos. Remember that you are supposed to have attempted the review first and then come back here to check your answers. And then you will turn in your review, however you choose to do it, with scratch paper on the day that you take your equations and inequalities test. Okay, so let's get started. The first one, I can model and solve two-step equations. We have negative 5x plus 9 is equal to 24. Now remember what the whole goal with equations is to solve for the variable, which is x, or isolate the variable. I draw the line in the middle to keep the left and the right hand side separate so I can organize my thoughts. And then remember from here we are going to undo the constant first. Okay, so that will give me negative 5x equals 24 minus 9, which is 15. Okay, then I have a multiplication problem. Negative 5x is equal to 15. I undo that with division. That gives me x by itself. And then I have a positive 15 divided by a negative 5. So my answer is going to be negative 3. X equals negative 3. Then go ahead and box those answers for me. All right, if I plug in x back in my original equation, I would have negative 5 times negative 3 is 15. Plus 9 is equal to 24. 24 is equal to 24. My equation would be balanced. Okay. Number 2, x over 2, or x divided by 2, minus 7 equals negative 10. So we're going to try to undo our constant first. It's a negative 7, so we're going to add 7 to both sides of our equation. Okay, that'll give me x over 2 is equal to, well, I have a negative 10 and a positive 7. It's going to be negative, and when I find the difference between those two numbers, it's going to be 3, so negative 3. X divided by 2, so how I'm going to isolate x is to multiply each side by 2. That will give me x is equal to negative 3 times positive 2, which is negative 6. Okay, and if I put negative 6 back into my equation, I will have negative 6 divided by negative 2, or I'm sorry, negative 6 divided by 2, which would be negative 3, minus 7 equals negative 10, and I can just combine those two, and my equation would be balanced. Okay. 3x plus 12 is equal to 48. So in order to get rid of my constant first, I'm going to subtract 12 from both sides. That would give me 3x is equal to 36. Then I have a multiplication problem, which I can undo with division. That will give me x by itself. And 36 divided by 3 is going to give me 12. Okay, so if I plug 12 back into my original equation, 3 times 12 is 36. Okay, 36 plus 12 is equal to 48. 48. My equation would be balanced. Okay, let's look at number 4. Number 4 is negative 6x minus 10 is equal to 20. So in order to get rid of my constant, I'm going to add 10 to both sides. Excuse me. There's my zero pair. Negative 6x is equal to 20 plus 10 is 30. Now I have a multiplication problem, so I am going to undo that with division. X is equal to, so I have 30 divided by negative 6, so a positive divided by a negative is going to give me a negative, and 30 divided by 6 is going to give me 5. X is equal to negative 5. So if I plug in negative 5 back into my original equation, I would have negative 6 times negative 5, which is 30, minus 10 is equal to 20. And 30 minus 10 is 20, so my equation is balanced. For number 6, 12x minus 17 equals 33. So we are going to add 17 to both sides. That's my constant. That will give me 12x is equal to 50. Then I am going to divide each side by 12, because that's how I undo multiplication. That will give me x by itself. And 50 can go into 12 4 times, and that would give me 48. I think this is going to end up being a decimal. It's 4.16 with a repeating at the end. x is equal to 4.16. So if I came over here or somewhere on my paper where I had a little bit more room, I could do the actual division for 50 divided by 12, and that's what I would come up with. But just in terms of saving time for the video, I'm going to skip that. X over 4 plus 5 equals 25. So we're going to subtract 5 from this side and subtract 5 from this side. So I'm going to get rid of that constant. There's my 0 pair. That'll give me x over 4 is equal to 25 minus 5, which is 20. So now I have division, which I'm going to undo with multiplication. So I'm going to multiply each side by 4. That would give me x is equal to 20 times 4, which is 80. Okay. Now it asks us to, sorry, let me get my paper all on the screen correctly. Sketch a model to represent the equation 2x plus 3 is equal to 9, then solve the equation. So if we were talking about algebra tiles, remember this would be 2 positive x's, so these would be greens. And then this would be 3 yellows is equal to 9. And these would all be yellow because they are positive. So you can either write a y on them or you can put a positive sign on them, whatever is easier for you because this is just a model. We're still going to solve it here in a second. Okay, so to solve it, 2x plus 3 is equal to 9. The 3 is my constant, so I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides because I had a positive 3. 2x is equal to 6. Now I have a division problem, so I'm going to divide by 2. And x is equal to 3. Okay, if I plug the 3 back into my original, 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. So 9 is equal to 9. My equation would be balanced. For number 8, we're going to sketch the model to represent the equation 3x plus 9 is equal to 3. So this one would be green, 3 greens. And then we have the 9 positives are equal to 3 positives. And you can go back and make your plus signs or your y's if you want to. All right, so we have 3x plus 9 is equal to 3. This time the 9 is my constant, so I'm going to undo it with a negative 9. 3x is equal to negative 6. Divide each side by 3. X is equal to negative 2. If I plug negative 2 back in, 3 times negative 2 is negative 6, plus 9 more would give me a positive 3 when I combine those two numbers. All right, at the bottom of this page, I can determine if a value is true for a given equation. If x, our variable, equals negative 3, then which of the following equations are true? Circle all that are true. So if we plugged in negative 3 right here, we would have negative 3 divided by 3, which would be negative 1 minus 9 equals, and I would combine those two, that would be negative 10. So 3 is not a solution for A, negative 3. If I look at B and I plug in 4 times negative 3 minus 9 equals negative 21. Well, 4 times negative 3 is negative 12, and then I have a negative 9 equals negative 21. Well, because these numbers are both negative, I can combine them. So this equation would be true. So B is true. X would fit. Negative 3 would be a value for X in B. So let's look at C. It says 6c plus 9 equals negative 13. That's completely a typo. They mean to put a negative 3 for C. So if we had 6 times negative 3 plus 9 equals negative 13, this would give me 6 times negative 3 would give me negative 18 plus 9, and that would give me negative 9. So C, x equals negative 3, is not a solution for negative 3. So let's look at D. Negative 2 times negative 3 plus 18 equals 24. Negative 2 times negative 3 is 6 plus 18 equals 24. 6 plus 18 is 24. 24 equals 24. So this equation is balanced. So x equals negative 3 is an equation, or is a solution that makes that equation true. Okay guys, I'm sitting at about 9 minutes for this video. I can go up to 15 per video. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and stop this one and make another one for our second page of equations.